Welcome to Bear Lifestyle, the podcast where we speak up and speak out about all taboo topics to make them normal and acceptable. I'm your host, Simona Spark, a best-selling author, international speaker, transformational coach, and so many other things. Beyond anything else, I'm a woman who stopped following other people's rules and started creating my own. In this space, we are ready to get naked by stripping away insecurities and judgments and all kinds of limitations and reaching in for the essence of who we really are bare. Beautiful, authentic, real, and ever evolving. Please join the conversation by sharing with us your insights and your questions. You could email us directly to transformation@simonaspark.com, or you could DM us on Instagram at Simona Spark World. Thank you for joining me today. Let's begin. Welcome to the Bear Lifestyle. Welcome back for those of you that have been following me for a while. And for those of you that are here for the first time, I'm so excited that you find me. As always, I like to start with a celebration. I'm celebrating myself, I'm celebrating you, I'm celebrating everyone who listens and watch our podcast. And today I'm celebrating with water. Cheers, cheers. I don't think that I could speak too much about how important is to put ourselves first. First of all, that is not selfish, that is required. Let me say that one more time. Putting yourself first, it is not selfish, it is required. We need you to take care of yourself, to give yourself what you need, to give yourself the food, the rest, or anything that you need before you interact with us. Why is that? Because only in that way you could come to a conversation, to an event, to whatever the situation might be, with your cup full. And I do want to talk especially with mothers that are feeling guilty for allowing themselves to take a little bit of space in a day for themselves. No guilt is required. I mean, I know that society and all the impossible standards for women and especially mothers are absolutely impossible and ridiculous. Don't feel guilty because you are tired and you need to take a nap and you actually taking that nap. You are not being a bad mother. You are being a loving mother. You show up in one way when you're tired and exhausted, and you show up differently when you're rested, don't you? So putting yourself first means creating space and time in your life for self-care. Is fundamental for anything that you do. If you look at the most successful people they are out there, what do they all have in common? They make themselves a priority. They make their own self-care a priority. They make their own self-love a priority. And it could be as simple as taking a nap, or 2 or 3 or 4 micro naps during the day. I'm a fan of that. It took me a few years to train myself to take a nap because the belief was like, I can't sleep. And then it was like, well, I was feeling guilty to sleep in the middle of the day because I don't want to be perceived as a lazy person, right? And then that evolved into really having a strong belief that if I take a nap during the day, I'm going to mess up my nighttime sleep. None of that is real. In fact, training myself how to take those micro naps, micro sleeps throughout the day is the best thing that I did as far as self-care goes. So when I feel tired, I allow myself to just lay down. And it's the only time that I put an alarm on my phone. There is no alarms on my phone. And I literally set it off for 10 minutes and for 15 minutes. So what that does, it wakes me up in 10 minutes. And then I allowed myself 5 more minutes to fully awake my body, my awareness. And then when the 15 minutes alarm kick on, it's like, I need to get up and wash my face and continue the day. And I'll tell you that I am fully rested and energized. So whatever happened after that micro nap, it is going to have my full attention and my sharp focus. So that is just to talk about one way that you could put yourself first, that you could prioritize your self-care. Here's the truth, though. It is very hard or even impossible to make yourself a priority if you don't have clear personal boundaries. So before anything else, I will look into that. Like really be honest with yourself and see, what are my boundaries? Do I have clear, strong boundaries around my time, my space, my emotions, my body, etc., etc., etc.? When you get clear on your personal boundaries, you are actually setting the stage for making yourself a priority in your own life. And the reason for that, it's quite obvious. You will have to communicate people in your life when you take time for yourself. So you can communicate that without the strong boundaries. It could be as simple as, I'm tired, I'm going to go take a nap, and off I go. People will have their opinion, right? They will have their judgments. But remember, it's not about you. It's about their perspective and their beliefs around that specific topic. If the person next to you believes that taking a nap in the middle of the day is for lazy people, when you say, I'm going to go take a nap, immediately they will judge you as being lazy. So that is just one example of how to deal with other people's judgments. And speaking of that, I will invite you to go back to our last podcast last week. It was a really great conversation on how to deal with rejection. So go ahead and check that out. So one thing that came in my awareness a couple of days ago was boundary around time. Did you ever have someone asking you, are you free? In a sense of like, you are not doing anything, you are not involved into any project, any task in that moment. And then they ask you to talk with them or do something with them or whatever. So I just realized this, probably many of you already realize it, but I just realized this a few days ago when somebody asked me, are you free? And I say, yes. And then they ask me what they want. And I keep on going with what they ask of me. And I didn't feel good. I was just like torn, like, and I have all this process, like, am I being a bad person? Why I'm not feeling good about helping this person? I'm not doing anything else. And then it just hit me. I was not doing anything, and I wanted and needed to not do anything. So for the first time, I just upgrade that belief and that personal boundary around my time. Just because I'm free doesn't mean that I'm available. Let me say this one more time. Just because I'm free doesn't mean that I'm available. So that being said, I want to offer you a more powerful question and more specific question when we need somebody's time, somebody's attention, and we don't want to interrupt what they're doing, right? That's why we ask, are you free? So I want to invite you to ask instead, are you available? Because again, just because people are not doing anything, that doesn't mean they are available to do whatever we require them to do. I don't know about you, but for me, it's absolutely fascinating how everyday life, every situation, conversation, and people that we interact with, is just an expansion of our life. It's just the expansion of our experience. And if we are really present and paying attention and listening, all of this daily experiences are just like juicy opportunities to help us evolve, to help us expand, to help us sharpen our perception about the world, to guide us to where do we need a personal boundary, to let us know where the boundaries that we have might need a little upgrade. So just pay attention today, just today to start with. Pay attention for the rest of the day to what's happening around you, what kind of conversations are you having with different people, what kind of situations life lay down for you for the rest of the day. And then in a moment, if you could, or in the end of the day, to just look back and ask yourself, what were the gifts in today's experience? What did I learn in that conversation? What did I learn about the world, the others, and about myself? That's another way to make yourself a priority, to put yourself first, to look back to every situation and conversation and ask how this expands me, how this evolves me, how this event, this conversation that just happened contribute to my evolution. And then just sink into that gratitude and just be thankful for that mess up traffic that taught you patience. Be grateful for that tough conversation or fight that you have with a friend that help you be more clear in your communication and communicate clearer your personal boundaries. Do you see what I'm saying? There are gifts everywhere. We are trained to feel happy and grateful and thankful only when we have a good experience, when feels good. But we are missing part of our life, because part of our life is this contrast of challenges, uncomfortable situations. And those are the places where we get to really dig deep and pull out tools and insights that, in combination with those that we already have and it's working, to just make us better, more expansive, more evolve, a higher version of ourselves. So that's where we landed today. That's what I want to talk about. And I want to close with stating again that putting yourself first is not selfish. It is, in fact, required. And I want to invite you to look at your personal boundary about your free time and see if this applies to you. Just because you are free, that doesn't mean that you are available. People don't know that. We have to let them know. We have to tell them, right? All right, I wish you all a wonderful day, bear experience, and I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Cheers, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. Please follow, rate, and review your favorite episode and share it with your friends. I would love to hear from you. What inspired you? What triggered you? And what interests you? For more bear experiences, please go to simonaspark.com/bear. And for a daily bear inspiration, please follow us on Instagram at Simona Spark World. I can't wait to have you back. Until then, be bear, beautiful, authentic, real, and ever evolving. Lots of love, my friend.